Hello, my name is Roger Foisy, and I am an Ontario long-term disability lawyer. I regularly get calls from people who are worried about being denied long-term disability benefits before they actually apply. However, from a legal action perspective, I can only help once your application has been denied or your benefits are later terminated. And so, I developed a series of 3 videos to provide you with some helpful guidelines based on years of experience seeing common errors that lead to LTD application denials. This video will focus on the section you are required to complete in the LTD application process so that your application has a better chance of success. You will also want to watch my other 2 videos in this series, which provide some guidance about the sections that need to be completed by your employer and your treating physician. These additional 2 sections are critical to the success of your LTD application. So let's walk through the most important and problematic sections of your LTD application form, often referred to as the Plan Member Statement. Okay, so like any application form, the beginning part of the application is going to ask you for some member information. That's going to be your personal information, your name, your address, your contact particulars. The next section in the application is going to be the employer information. So now you're going to provide all of the information regarding who your employer is, their address, their contact information as well. Next, as we move down a bit, what we're going to see is the physician and healthcare practitioner information. This is the providers that you've been seeing throughout the process of your illness or disability. You'll want to make sure to include all healthcare providers. The insurance company may actually contact these providers. So do not forget about practitioners such as naturopaths, registered massage therapists. It's not just your family doctor or specialist. You want to ensure that your healthcare providers are providing all information to these doctors. You can also expect they're going to get a call. So make sure to explain to them that somebody may be calling, requesting actually clinical notes and records from them, either through writing or actually through a phone call. The next section is about your injury or illness. Is your injury or illness work-related? They are asking this because they wish to know whether or not there is a competing interest between Workplace Safety Insurance Board and your own insurer. LTD insures you initially for not being able to work in your own occupation. Now, after a period of time, usually a 2-year period, it will be based on your initial ability to perform any occupation. Relationship conflicts with your employees are not usually successful LTD applications. I mention this because often there are psychological claims that come about within poisonous work environments or 2 actual employees who can't get along. All we have to do in that situation is fix the environment and the disability could actually be fixed itself. Therefore, relationship conflicts and other employees' conflicts are not usually successful in LTD claims. So when do you expect to return to work is a question often asked. You likely don't know the answer to this question, so don't feel pressured to answer. You can say, don't know, or based on doctor's recommendation. Next, your education, training, work experience, or acquired skills. This is being asked because the insurer wants to know how they can transition you into some other future employment based on your past skills. What's important about this section is to only include information that is related to realistic career possibilities, not something you've been studying for and haven't completed. Maybe you've been a hairdresser when you were 18 years old and now you're 50 years old, but you haven't been working that career for years. That's not a related occupation. Next section would be work capacity. For each of the activities listed, remember they are asking about your ability to do it based on what your job requires. In this section, you will usually see 3 parts: physical, psychological, and cognitive. There will likely be very little space to add comments. However, you need to elaborate on each issue that affects your ability to work. You will see here on the application, we've given you some examples, listing activities that likely are asked by your insurer. You will see there are small spots for you to be able to actually include information. In fact, The area is actually too small to write. So if you take a look under sitting, I've put in an example here where it says limited to 15 minutes at a time, but I see attached. Under making decisions, I say unable to do because of medication, and I also say see attached. So here's an example if you take a look at what you might actually want to attach. You just prepare a separate piece of paper, call it additional information on activities and functions. Under sitting, you might say something like this if this applies to your situation. Due to the lower back pain, I'm unable to sit for longer than 15-minute intervals. During this time, my legs and toes become numb and tingling. The pain medication I take only lasts 1 to 2 hours, after which my back pain increases, where only lying flat on my back for an hour seems to relieve some of the pain. As you can see, now you've actually provided the functional problem you're going to have going back to a job that requires you to sit. Here's another example which deals with cognition, making decisions. My focus and concentration has definitely been affected, and it prevents me from completing things I would easily have completed in the past. When I try to focus or concentrate too hard, I develop a headache, which then makes things much more difficult for me. The pain from this headache, when it's at its worst, makes me feel nauseous. These are examples that I think would be extremely helpful to your application. So, again, looking at work capacity when you're being asked about physical, psychological, and cognitive deficits, I want you to make sure to add the extra detail, which will definitely help your application. I hope this video has been helpful to you when completing the LTD application. I encourage you to watch the other videos on this topic. If you've applied for long-term disability benefits and have been wrongfully denied, or your benefits have been recently terminated, I encourage you to contact my office to set up a free consultation or visit my website at injurylawyercanada.com for additional LTD videos and resources.